Start.
Good evening, students. Yesterday we people were discussing about levels of organization. As I told you earlier also, levels of organization, we have discussed about the cell, smallest unit, then tissues will be there, then organs, then we will be having organ system, and at last we will be having organism. So this is in continuation to the previous lecture which we did yesterday. So cell is the smallest structural and the basic unit. These cells combine together to form similar type of tissues which are specialized to perform a special function. Then specialized tissues, they will form one organ. Those organs, similar type of organs which collectively form, which are capable of collectively performing an organ system. Then that organ system, different types of organ systems, your circulatory system, your excretory system, digestive system, they all will club together to form an organism. So these are levels of organization which we have talked about yesterday. Next we will be talking about discovery of cell. If we talk about discovery of cell, you must have studied earlier as well. In discovery of cell, Robert Hooke, he was the scientist who first discovered cell in 1665. So Robert Hooke, he discovered the cell in a bark of a tree. So when he observed the structure of a bark under the microscope, he observed honeycomb like structures in the microscope, and he named these structures as compartments, and he gave the name them cellulae, or he called them as the cell. These were the small compartments which he named as the cellulae, or they were called as the cell. So this was how the first cell was discovered, which was in the shape of a honeycomb like structure. Then next is, if we talk about, so Anton von Leeuwenhoek, that is also an important point to be mentioned here. He first saw and described a live cell. Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he first discovered and saw the live cell. Then Robert Hooke later on discovered the cells, and Robert Brown, he first saw the cell, and Robert Brown was the scientist who first discovered Robert Brown first discovered nucleus. He first discovered the nucleus. Then if we talk about cell theory, it was given by, it was also the concept of this regarding the important concept regarding the cell. It was given by two scientists, Sheldon and Schwann, in 1838. In 1838, the two scientists Sheldon and Schwann, they both worked upon this cell theory. Sheldon and Schwann, they both worked upon the cell theory, and they discovered about two main postulates about the cell theory. According to this, the very first postulate was that all living organisms are formed of cells, and they are the products of the cells only. And second is कि all cells arise from, first was the that all living organisms arise from pre-existing cells. Means according to them, the pre-existing cells, they give rise to the new cells. And second postulate was that all living organisms are composed of cells. जितने भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं वो सारे के सारे सेल्स से बने हुए हैं, आर कंपोज्ड ऑफ cells. So these were the postulates which were in the cell theory, and they were given by Schilden and Schwann in 1838. According to this, these were the two, that all living organisms, they arise from pre-existing cells, and all living organisms are composed of the cells. So if we talk about, this was all about the cell theory. If we talk about the general structure of a cell, later on we will be doing it in detail. If we talk about a typical cell, what are the major elements present in a cell? So the major elements in a cell will be three elements. If we talk about major elements of a cell, so there will be three elements: the outer envelope, the genetic material, the outer envelope, then it will be having genetic material inside it, the DNA or the RNA, and then there will be a jelly-like material which comprises of the cell organelles, that is the cytoplasm. Outer envelope, depending upon the whether it is a plant cell or it is an animal cell, it could be cell wall or it could be a cell membrane. But in general, if we talk about, so all cells, they have this outer envelope, genetic material, and this cytoplasm in the cells, right? If we talk about the general differentiation, depending upon the differentiation and de-differentiation, that we in a multicellular organism, the cells are of three types. Cells in multicellular organism, they are of three types. The very first type is undifferentiated cells. Undifferentiated cells. In this we can give example of meristematic cells, which are responsible for growth and continuously they are involved in the growth. So meristematic cells are there. Undifferentiated cells, they do not undergo any differentiation, they just keep on growing and they have the power of division. They divide, they grow, and they are involved in the growth, so they are undifferentiated cells. Second is we have differentiated cells which get divided and they are specialized to perform the different function. They have a definite structure, definite shape, definite size, and definite function. So they will be having definite shape, structure, size, and function. So they will be the differentiated cells. And if we talk about the third category, like in this we can seek the example of nerve cells, which are basically responsible for impulse carrying conduction. Then we can talk about the sieve tube cells, right, जो solute conduction करते हैं. Erythrocytes हैं जो transport करते हैं oxygen की. So these are the examples of the differentiated cells which are differentiated and they perform a very particular function. Then we have the de-differentiated cells. De-differentiated cells, These are the cells which lose their differentiated nature and they resume the function of formation of new cells. Means they keep on forming the new cells. इन्हीं से डिवाइड होने के बाद वो ये बन रहे हैं, लेकिन they will stop de-differentiating now. So they are the de-differentiated cells. मतलब हम इनको secondary meristematic cells भी बोल सकते हैं. Regeneration in animals, healing of wounds, that are all the examples of the de-differentiated cells. So the means they are not differentiated or specialized in nature, but they have the function of formation of new cells. They form the new cells and those cells will be permanent in their function. So we can call them as secondary meristematic cells also. So these were the cells which are different cells present in the multicellular organisms. Next, if we talk about cell shape. Cells could be of many shapes. If we talk about RBCs, so they are bioconcave or spherical in shape. And if you know this thing that they are the smallest cells, they are without nucleus, so they could be round and bioconcave in shape, spherical in shape. Then we have the elongated branched nerve cells. Every cell is having the different shape. If we talk about nerve cells, so they have this kind of shape, elongated and branched, right? If we talk about the tracheids, so they are elongated cells. Tracheids, they are elongated cells, this kind of cells. If we talk about egg cell, so that is ovum, yeah, egg. So it is of this shape. So we are having cuboidal shaped cells, we are having rectangular shaped cells, we are having elongated cells, we are having spherical cells. So cells are of different shapes and different depending upon their functions. So next, if we talk about cell size, so definitely cells vary in size as well as in shape. The cells, longest cell in the body is nerve cell. Cell in body is nerve cell. Human body, if we talk about, smallest cell is the RBCs. They are without nucleus, they are very small in size and they do not have the nucleus in them. Then we have the smallest, the largest cell, mycoplasma, microscope, mycoplasma or PPLO is the smallest cell. ये तो human body में हो गया. Otherwise, if we talk about the smallest cell, so that is mycoplasma. Mycoplasma, or we call it as the PPLO bacteria, right? And next is, if we talk about the largest cell, that is the ostrich egg. So if we talk about lifespan of cells, they may last from 2 to 4 days, from few hours. So depending upon the bacteria are there, they may live for few hours only. Okay, so if lifespan of we talk about lifespan of human cell, so it may have live for 10 to 12 hours in a day. So this kind of different cells have different lifespan. So depending upon, then unicellular and multicellular organisms we have already discussed about. So then next is, if we talk about the cell, there are all the cells, they are having different kind of organelles present in them, Golgi bodies, lysosomes, ribosomes, that we will be discussing later on, the different organelles, all of the organelles. Afterwards, tomorrow, in the tomorrow's lecture, we will be discussing about prokaryotic, and in the next lecture we will be discussing about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells depending upon their presence of the complexity. So this we are going to discuss tomorrow. So that's all for the class today. Thank you.